Hey, it's John and Mike, brew-dudes.com, and today on this video we are talking about IPA, because that's what most people think beer is.
That's what everybody's talking about.
Oh my goodness gracious. And so this is Mike's continuing journey into getting aroma, and that is hop aroma, in his IPAs without ever opening up his fermenter to dry hop. Is that
After brew day? Yeah, exactly.
after brew day? So these are all...
Put it all in there.
Put it all in there. Get all the hops that you're looking to put into your beer on brew day. Don't do it during fermentation, which I have yet to leap into this, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
Because we've been down this road before. We've been down the road before.
Yep.
We're continuing down this road. And I did take a sneaky peeky whiff, and I said, well, sir, there's some aroma there, and it's very nice. So let's talk about this beer.
Let's talk about it.
And I'd love to know the technique of how you got more aroma in this beer than you did in the last one.
Yep. So, I've got two videos where I've been playing with this a little bit, but the idea was this sort of stems out of us continuing to explore really the larger idea of oxidation and how it's damaging to super hop forward, hop aroma based IPAs, New England IPA or any IPA for that matter. So just as a home brewer, finding easier ways to make a beer that I really like and I enjoy, but with slightly less minimal effort versus all of the things you could be doing to make a great New England IPA, American IPA. So let's just get into it. So this recipe, this is 77% pale ale malt by Baird's, and I was a little bit worried that it was going to be darker than I wanted to do, but at the time I was cleaning out grain bins as usual. But that's what I had was pale ale malt, and I actually sort of like the color of this. I think if it was a little hazier, the color might be a little bit darker than I want to, but it works for me in this application. I'm not really shooting for a hazy, juicy, or anything like that. I'm just trying to make a really hop-forward IPA. You can call it whatever style you want it to be, but that's what I'm trying to go for here. So anyway, pale ale malt, it's 11% flaked oats, 11% white wheat malt, not flaked, but white wheat malt, and that's the recipe. So now the hops. So for me, I like all of this hop aroma and flavor to be balanced a little bit with an intentional bittering addition. So this has got 7 grams, which is like less than a third of an ounce of...
Oh, it's a quarter of an ounce?
It's like a quarter of an ounce of nugget for 60 minutes.
Okay.
Because I have a bunch of it and I like it. I like nugget.
I was trying to figure out what the bittering hops is, but yeah, nugget it is.
Okay. And then, so it's 10 minutes. It's 1 gram apiece of Citra and Sabro. And more importantly, it's the LUPOMAX Citra and Sabro. So we're talking about, it's an ounce, but it's really an ounce and a quarter, ounce and a half, if you believe the statements they say about how much you want to use. But anyway, who cares about that? So, so that's at 10 minutes, an ounce of each. And then at flame out, before I start chilling, it's another ounce of each Citra Sabro, right? And then recommended by some viewers, but it was something I was progressing towards anyway, is once I had it chilled, and I didn't stop, I didn't do a stand or whatever like that, it's another ounce each of Citra and Sabro into the fermenter as I'm transferring the wort, the chilled wort, into the fermenter. The thing, I pitched the yeast, which in this case was Lallemand New England East Coast Ale yeast, because I had it and that's what I wanted to use up. And I locked the lid down, and that's it.
That's it.
I walked away. I put it in, so fermented at 65 degrees. I let it heat up a little bit to about 68, 70 towards the end just to make sure it was finishing. And it's sort of self-conditioned there for another 2 weeks with those 2 ounces of hops in there. In my boil process, I am using a hop spider of some sort, so because I don't want to carry too much green material in. But now this time around, I didn't do this in the last time I did this, but this time around, I'm intentionally getting 2 ounces of green material in the beer, and it sat there for the whole, again, almost 3.5, almost 4 weeks in a fermenter.
So you threw in that 2 ounces of hops as it was transferring from kettle
at post chill, right? So the other hops are in there during the chill. Right. And my chill goes pretty quick. I can chill down in about 15 minutes.
Right.
And so then I'm pumping into the fermenter, I use the stainless steel, better bucket, the SS BrewTech bucket.
So fermentation temperature, was that fermentate, and then you threw in the 2 ounces.
Yeah, I chilled it down to about 60, 62, and then with the hops in there, and then it's fermenting about 65.
Well, the aroma is present. I mean, it's not like the other New England IPAs that we've brewed, where as you pour into the glass, like we're socially distanced here. You would say, okay, well that's a hoppy beer. But it's certainly on the nose, like without really having to like try to find it. It's there.
When I poured it downstairs and brought it up here, right, and I'm carrying them up, I mean, I can smell it the whole way, right? So you are losing some aroma.
Sure.
Those first, just like when you first open a can of the beer, you smell it right away, right?
But it's still present. I think it's good. It's better than the last time you had where it was still a work in progress.
Yep.
This is actually more of, I think, a finished product. The hop flavor is there too.
Yep.
I know that I was like kind of railing on the nugget because I was like, all right, there is definitely a bittering charge.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't know if the people say hop bite and they think that's coming from.
No.
It's not. It's actually pretty pleasant, and it's not overwhelmingly so.
Yep.
And you said how much was the nugget charge again?
7 grams. It's
that's
quarter of an ounce.
Quarter of an ounce.
Yeah.
That was it. Boom. You just threw in a little piece.
Just enough to achieve, according to Beersmith, 12 IBUs of just definitive bitterness.
Yeah. So I would say that there isn't a lot of the tropical fruit. Like we've talked about Sabro and like those that like in the dry hopping, like all those tropical fruit flavors.
So I was rereading up on Sabro, and the big descriptors they say are like tangerine, stone fruit, and coconut. Lime,
that's right. Yeah. Well,
that's
which we've tasted about. Yeah. Definitely.
When I first poured it after like a couple yesterday to check the carbonation level, I got like pretty good pineapple, which I think was a play in my mind of that
tropical fruit.
What the marketers want to tell you is coconut. I mean, so I think the play of the Sabro with the Citra, I was definitely getting a little bit of candied pineapple. I don't get so much of that right now, but it is colder than when I tasted it the other day because it's been chilling down. So I really like it. The other thing I'm trying to achieve here is make a really hop forward, hop aroma, hop flavor beer, but doesn't have that extra flavor component that comes with massive dry hopping that I dislike. It's that raw hop character, raw hop flavor that I think a lot of people are drawn to, only because they've loved IPA for the last 20 years and they're used to that aggressive, which is for me unpleasant hop character. Right. Essentially, what we're talking about is like super bitter IPA. Traditional IPA, I just never really cared for that. And I think these really heavy dry hopped, where you're talking about, 8, 10, 12 ounces of hops in a 5-gallon batch, where most of that being added during dry hop, you're getting a lot of that green hop character that I just don't care for the taste of it. I want hops. If a hop is going to be tangerine, pineapple, and whatever, that's what I want to taste. I don't want to pretend I'm tasting that as I fight through a bunch of white pith, dank grapefruitness.
Okay.
Sans fruit. I mean, I don't care for that. That's just not what I'm interested in drinking these types of beers. So that's just me. That's just me as a quasi IPA enjoyer. But this I would drink, and I really enjoy this. So I don't remember if I said it, but it was about, I think my starting gravity here was 1058. I finished at 1012. So this is about 6.5%.
That's good. Well, I think that if that was what you're after, I don't think any of those off qualities of green material, dry hopping, results are in this beer. This is more what I would consider just like a high hopped beer that we typically would drink, back in the 90s. Without like it being so bitter that we have to force our way through it.
Like I said, I think that I don't really notice the nugget in here, but I think if it wasn't in there, you would notice it side by side. Because there's not like a lingering bitterness on the palate or whatever. It's still mostly flavor and aroma.
Yeah, very good. All right, sir. Well, you're on your way, the path of righteousness.
The path of righteousness.
For not introducing more oxygen into your process, and or opening up that lid, or just getting what you want on brew day and nothing past brew day. Like, have a sane, safe fermentation.
Yeah.
You're not like fooling around and like trying to,
because I want it to be easy too. I want it to be easy, and I did a closed transfer, so I'm not picking up any oxygen that way, and
very good.
So it's all good.
Good. So what's the name of this one, do you think? Phase 2?
Yeah, phase two. I think the only thing left to try.
I was gonna say, what's phase 3?
The problem. So the phase 3 would be if I could get maybe some dry hop in the keg. But the problem is with that is that you're breaking the seal at that point. At some point, you're putting, I want to experiment with this idea of actually putting the dry hops in the canister that I use, like the mesh canister, putting in the keg, maybe over hopping, right? And very quickly filling it with sanitizer, capping it, and push it out with CO2. And yeah, you're going to lose some hop character because you've got the hops wet with sanitizer, but I don't know. But let's just see what that makes as a beer. That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
But how else are you going to do it and not be opening it up for the average homebrew equipment person? Now, if you had if you've got a really nice, super expensive fermenter that you can gas purge, a lot of people now have like the port, so you can put the hops in, gas purge. There's a lot of things you can do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it with the average brewer's equipment.
Sure.
And make high quality beer. This, I think, if we weren't being critical home brewers and talking about it, and we just poured this, like, hey, here's my IPA, you'd go, wow, man.
This is a great IPA.
This is great. It's great. I love the aromas I'm getting on that.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out from the process.
Yeah.
So, so phase 3, maybe you figure out some dry hopping.
Something. Yeah.
I bought one of those hop spiders, by the way.
Excellent.
Yeah, because I have a New England IPA comparison that's coming up. So you got to stay tuned for that.
More IPA?
There's mine versus a well-known gentleman who's
author?
Author.
Stuff? Yeah.
Hop
researcher of hops.
Yes. Knows a lot more about hops than I do, and I just want to
we're just two dudes.
I took his recipe. I'm just like talking about too much about it, but I took his recipe that he published in BYO back in March of 2019, and I took that and then I brewed it side by side with mine. We'll compare and contrast.
Awesome.
We'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
I don't know. Mine might suck. I don't know. He actually had a lot of 60-minute boil, more than what you had. So we'll see how that come out. Anyway, hope you dug this video because I know that a lot of people are trying to maximize their hop aroma and flavor in their beers, and Mike's proving that you don't necessarily need to throw in maybe a half pound of hops in the fermenter.
3 months worth of salary of hops in one beer.
That's true.
You don't need to do it.
Maybe not. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel because we do this kind of stuff every single week. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. Brew on.
Cheers.